I'm going to give a quick overview of the blog assignment, but I encourage you to look at the in-depth PDF guidelines posted on Canvas. Okay, so I know this is a heavy way to start, but I want you to really avoid plagiarism. And so you can't use AI when doing this assignment, because I just find that once students are using AI, they tend to pull too much from it. And then basically the general rule is if you shouldn't be taking 4 or more consecutive words from another source without putting it in quotation marks and citing it. So this really means you shouldn't be taking words or ideas, directly from the sample paper or another student's paper. Really, if you're using anything as to, get your ideas going, you don't want to be looking at it while you're writing your paper. Okay, so even though you are in a blog group, that just indicates what your deadlines are, whether or not you're coming in the first part of the semester or the second part of the semester. But this is just an individual assignment. Now, if you are taking this as an 8-week class in the summer, then we are only working in one set of deadlines for blog group 2. So what it involves is a blog post between 600 and 800 words, but we're just posting it in our Canvas discussions for the class to read. And you are, in doing this, you are finding a journal article, you're conducting an interview, and you're tying in course material. There's 4 deadlines for each blog group: a check-in, a draft, a final, and comments, and then the opportunity to do extra credit comments. So we will basically have these assignments twice during a regular 16-week semester and only once during an 8-week summer course. Okay, step 1 is just to figure out which blog group you're in. Remember what you signed up for. You can do that by looking under People on Canvas and looking at in your discussion group title. It'll say blog group 1 or blog group 2, and then that will orient you to your deadlines, which you can find on Canvas. So you want to be thinking, what are you interested in related to class material, related to death, dying, grief? And there's obviously lots of different subtopics. It can be hard to pick a topic in the beginning when you're not very far into the class. And so we do have blog topic ideas posted under the blog assignment guidelines and resources on Canvas. And an important thing to just keep in mind is you could be doing, for example, grief related to a non-death loss, grief associated with a breakup or a divorce or a move or a job loss or an injury, or giving up a substance. Those are kind of common things that students sometimes explore that are non-death related. Next, you're going to find a journal article, and we recommend that you use PsycInfo for this, and we've got a number of resources available on Canvas to help you with that. Once you find your journal article, you want to save it as a PDF file because you're going to actually attach it and up with your blog check-in your submission, your blog draft submission, and your blog final submission. It's important to know that your article has to give you some information to use in your blog post, but it doesn't have to be 100% related to your topic. Some topics are really hard to find sources for. You're only going to have to pull 2 or 3 sentences that you paraphrase into your blog post. So again, it doesn't have to be a perfect journal article. Next, you want to think about who you're going to interview. And so most of the time students interview someone they know, a roommate, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a family member. But sometimes people interview professionals who, lawyers or mental health professionals who help with these issues. For the check-in, you don't actually have to have a specific name, just kind of the role or the context. So, and if you're saying like your dad, make sure you tell us kind of why, so that we can make sure that it's the right fit. Then you're going to draft a minimum of 3 open-ended questions related to death, dying, and grief. So again, these are questions that can't be answered with a yes or a no, although we do allow, can you tell me about such and such? And we don't want you to use leading or biased questions. So instead of saying, was that hard for you? You could say, tell me more about your experience, or what were some of the hard things or the good things. You can always try to get people to tell you a specific story or an example. And then, of course, you're judging how appropriate it is to ask these personal questions based on how well you know this person. So for for your blog check-in, you're going to submit both a Word document and a PDF of your journal article. And your check-in, you're going to just explain your topic, who you plan to interview. You're going to list your 3 questions and then attach your journal article. And there's points associated with all of those elements. Our goal is to get you feedback within 10 days of the blog draft due date. And of course, if you need feedback sooner, then you can email us and we'll try to take a look at your check-in sooner and give you feedback in advance in case you're trying to get your interview done. But once you get feedback from us, then you'll revise your topic or your questions or your article as needed before moving on to your draft. Okay, so then you're going to conduct your interview using your interview questions, and you're going to want to either take clear notes or record it or both, because you're going to submit that with your blog final. You don't have to submit it with the draft, but we want it eventually with the blog final. And this is just to show that you actually did an interview. As you're getting ready to write your blog, take a look at the sample blogs. It gives you a sense of how to set it up and what the tone is like. Okay, so we would like you to use a conversational and engaging tone. It's okay to use stories, examples, humor. It might be nice to use kind of we language or our language to kind of help normalize the struggles that we go through. You're going to want to make sure that you're making your post relevant for a diverse audience, taking out anything that just doesn't seem to quite fit, even if it's, interesting, clarifying anything that's confusing, and then making sure it just is all coherent and kind of ties back to your key ideas. Okay, so check out Canvas for more details on this rubric, but you can see that we give you points for length, for having a topic related to the class, for pulling from your interview, and that can be quotes or a summary, for pulling from your journal article, and again, we'd like that to be paraphrased and not quoted, for making connections to class material, again, paraphrased, for the quality of your journal article and having it attached as a PDF, for having in-text citations and a reference list in APA format, for having a conversational and engaging tone, not a formal academic tone, for having a writing structure, with topic sentences and transitions and kind of all flows and makes sense, and then of course accurate grammar and spelling. So we'll give you at least a week to use the feedback from the blog draft as you write your blog final. Okay, so for your blog final, you'll make your revisions to the draft, submit those. If, for example, you got full points on the draft, then you don't have to make any changes to the final. You can just resubmit it and you can expect to get full points on the final. You'll again submit your journal article as a PDF, and then here in the final, you'll submit your interview notes, either your typewritten notes, a photo of your handwritten notes, or an audio file. You're also going to post your blog, so you're posting it in 2 places. Your blog you're putting in the Canvas submission box, and then you're also putting it on the discussion board so that everybody else in the class can read it. The blog final rubric is very similar to the draft rubric, except each element has more points. The changes to the rubric are that here you also need to upload your interview notes, and you also need to post in 2 locations, the Dropbox and the discussion board. Okay, the last part of this project is blog comments, where you're going to read other people's posts and provide at least 1 comment for each round of blog posts. So if you're in the regular 16-week class, we'll have 1 set coming in the middle of the class, 1 set of blog posts, and then blog group 2 will be posting at the end of the semester. If you're in the 8-week summer class, you're just going to do 1 round of comments. So you're going to read through some posts, you're going to find some that don't have more than 1 comment, and then you're going to comment as a reply on their post. And then you're also going to paste your comment into the blog comment Dropbox so that we can give you credits, so that we can grade it. So you need to put it in 2 places. And again, you're going to do 1 of those for blog group 1 and 1 of those for blog group 2, unless you're in the 8-week summer class. And then you can see we've got some criteria there for your comment. Note that we're expecting you to not just say like, great job, but to make a connection to your own life or something that you've learned or read or watched. So you're kind of, making some sort of connection. And then you have the opportunity to do an extra credit comment, both for blog group 1 and for blog group 2. And it follows the same kind of guidelines and format as the regular comment. Okay, Your next steps are to look at the blog assignment guidelines PDF, which gives a bit more details, to review the rubrics for each of these assignments, to take a look at the resources that we've got posted on Canvas, like the blog topic ideas, the library guides, or the blog samples. And feel free to reach out. You can reach out during office hours. If you're in person, you can check in with me after class. I'm always happy to talk about your ideas or to provide some guidance. Again, I'm happy to look over drafts during office hours and help you maximize the points. I'm happy to help you find a source. So just let me know how we can help.